because he hurts his toe.
Oh gosh!
And LeBron James, he twisted his ankle just a little bit,
Right.
coming down off of a spin move and coming down on somebody's foot. Only thing I'm concerned about with the Lakers in the Western Conference is their durability. If they're healthy, they're coming out of the West, and I believe they'll meet Brooklyn in the finals. If they're not healthy, if their health is compromised, they're gonna go down. It's just that simple. I'm not worried about their game, Keith. I'm worried about their durability. Every little thing seems to hurt them this year, and that's the crazy part of what I'm witnessing. But I also noticed Denver had a chance to get some of the Lakers in the first round. They wanted no parts of it. The Clippers were losing games on purpose as far as I was concerned, so they didn't have to face the Lakers early. So clearly we all know what the Lakers are and what they can be when healthy. And I think that right now that's the only issue. If you're telling me that LeBron James and Anthony Davis are going to be healthy, I'm telling you the Lakers are coming out of the West.
Stephen A., that was my next question to you, brother, because I get this strategy. I see it, but that don't mean I have to like it, because it makes me look at the Clippers in a completely different way. Damn, you dropped games to OKC and the Rockets? That's the games you dropped?
We on the same page, bro. We on the same page. It's like, really? It's like that? You want to avoid the Lakers? You know what? There's a difference between being a championship contender and being the Clippers. And they reminded us they're the Clippers. They reminded us they're the Clippers. Because what the hell are you doing? I mean, don't get me wrong. I prefer to see the Lakers and the Clippers in the conference finals rather than the first round. Don't get me wrong. But if you're the Clippers, why are you appearing like you running from anybody? I mean, don't you have Kawhi Leonard? Mm-hmm. Don't you have Paul George? Did you just pick up Rondo? I mean, don't you got a crew?
Got a new head coach. Like you got Ty Lue now. You got your coach that you wanted.
I'm just saying. You look again. I didn't talk to anybody yet in regards to what they were doing, but I'm just saying how it looked. You know, I was on vacation, but I'm just looking like, yo, really? Mm-hmm. Y'all don't look like y'all want to win these games. Mm-hmm. Y'all looking like y'all trying to avoid the Lakers. And then you get back in the States, and then I got back in the States, and everybody talk about how they looking like they avoided the Lakers. I'm like, oh, really? That's what champions do? Okay. Okay.
That says a lot,
doesn't it? The champions and then there's the Clippers.
But how about also in the East, Saturday night, the Bucks could have done the same thing. The Bucks could have laid down and said, we don't want to face the Heat, not in the first round. We saw what they did to us last year. That team's coming on. They're tough. But they went out and they went and won that game and made sure. All right, and they knew.
And the question is, too, like, you know, if you do have Steph on there, you have Steph and who? Andrew Wiggins and
Draymond.
Okay.
I mean, that's all you get.
That's it. Here's I start struggling with it because, like, Steph propels him, but I'm like, the other two, like, and that's no disrespect because Draymond. Wiggins has been cool like the last 10 games.
Yeah, he's cool.
Last 15 games or so.
You can get away with him. I don't know how long you'll last, but you can certainly get away with it.
It depends on how hot Steph is, though, right?
Let's take Mel in New Jersey. Go ahead, Mel.
Ain't fair though, because nobody has the 3 Brooklyn has.
Hey guys, good morning.
Good morning.
I just want to say, like, I'm excited. The playoffs are finally here, and I've been looking forward to the Nets winning the championship since KD and Kyrie first came. But I say all this to say that, right? The teams that I didn't want to face in the playoffs this year was Miami and Washington. And it looked like we might play both of them. And I'm excited because we owe Washington a can of whoop egg because they beat us this year. And Miami and Milwaukee, those are 2 great teams that got to knock each other out. But out of the big 3, I think the Knicks would have had the best chance to beat Philadelphia. So, because, I think they got a better chance of beating the others. So, New York, we're here. I'm hoping that y'all can make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. And I'm just excited that the playoffs are finally here, guys.
Yo, I would
Lakers,
love,
Clippers, Nets, Knicks.
I would love to see the 76ers and the Knicks play. You talk about like a rough.
Well, Doc and Tibbs have obviously a deep history together.
Yes. But like a rough, tough, physical series.
Yeah.
Like where they're going to challenge Joel Embiid.
I bet you there'd be a fight in that series.
Oh,
100% fight in that series.
1,000%. 1,000%.
Definitely be a fight in that series. Let's bring in Stephen A. Smith, who joins us right now on the Goodyear Hotline. Stephen A., good morning. So I don't know if you caught what we're doing here, but you remember the NBA Jam arcade game, the video game, and We were just playing around.
Vaguely.
Vaguely? Okay. Well, it's
Vaguely. I'm not a video game guy. I remember it vaguely.
It's a 2-on-2. Basically, it's all based on video game, not analytics or anything like that. And so with the 20 teams in the postseason right now, we were saying, like, what would be your best pairing? And Jay put together a rankings, and he had KD and Harden as his number one NBA Jam pairing. He's got LeBron and AD as number 2. Would you agree with those top 2?
I would say KD, Kyrie.
Really?
Not KD, James?
Over Harden.
I would say KD, Kyrie. I think Kyrie is a showstopper. Obviously, James Harden is going to shoot his threes, and James Harden, we know what he can do. But I think that even though this year that hasn't been the case, customarily, if you watched in the previous 8 years in Houston, the ball didn't move as much. I think that when you talk about 2-on-2 and somebody dancing on you and, just getting to the hole or shooting threes, I would go with Kyrie. I think that James Harden will find himself fouled a lot more times, whereas Kyrie would embarrass and buckle knees and do all of that kind of stuff, and KD would do whatever the hell he wanted to do. So, for the purposes of a 2-on-2, if it's 5-on-5 and running the team, I'm going with James Harden. But for the purposes of a 2-on-2 competition, I would go with Kyrie and KD.
Stephen A., let's talk about your squad. You guys going to beat the Hawks? You going to beat the Hawks? Is the playoff defense that we saw in the regular season, is it going to translate to the postseason, S.A.?
I think it's going to be a 7-game series. I like the young talent that they got in Atlanta. I love Nate McMillan, the fact that he's in Atlanta, because I didn't like him in Indianapolis. I didn't think that was the right place for him. I love the fact that he's in Atlanta doing his thing. Proud of him. But they're going down, man. They're going down. Knicks stand up. That's what this is going to be. Okay? They got home court advantage. They're going to struggle a little bit in the ATL, no question about it. But in the end, I think it'll be a 7-game series. I can see each team defending its home court. It comes down to Game 7 in Madison Square Garden. Knicks close the deal, advance to the second round against the Philadelphia 76ers. That's what I see.
Stephen A., I'll tell you this, too. What I like about this series is it's going to be, if it goes 7, it's 7 home games for the Knicks. Because in Atlanta, the Knicks represent really well fan-wise. They get loud for the Knicks down in Atlanta.
Yeah. It is, but the Hawks got some of their fans there, too. No question about it. So I just think it's going to be interesting. But for the most part, you're right. And I just see it working out that way. I think that the Knicks defensively, I think they got a leg up on Atlanta. I think Atlanta's lack of experience and youth will come back to haunt them in this series when it really, really counts. But I'm not going to dismiss their talent and act like the Knicks are just going to run roughshod over them. Atlanta can beat them. I just don't think it'll happen.
Once they sent home packing, that is the Knicks, then what's the next move for them beyond getting sent home packing?
Well, listen, I think that the Knicks got to upgrade talent-wise in all seriousness. We understand they ain't Brooklyn, they ain't Philadelphia, they ain't Milwaukee. Hell, I'm glad they didn't play Miami because I was scared of them going up against Miami. I was worried about that. I'm glad that didn't happen because I think Miami's experience could come shining through. But I think that when you look at the Knicks, listen, Derrick Rose has been great. You hear names like Kyle Lowry in the offseason and a few others. No, I don't believe that. I think that the Knicks got to find a way to get somebody that can shoot the basketball. I know they got some shooters out there, and I know they're top 4 shooting collectively this year from three-point range, whereas last year they were like at the bottom 4. So that's an incredible improvement. But I still need to see like a small forward on off guard that can put some that can give you some buckets. I really, really need to see that from them. It remains to be seen. And more than anything, Julius Randle's an MVP candidate. I'm pleased with R.J. Barrett and how he's shooting the basketball. But, my God, can y'all become a bit ambidextrous? Use your right hand because now that playoff basketball is here and it's a best of 7, everybody knows you're going left.
Yeah.
Everyone knows you're going to use your left hand. I need both R.J. Barrett and Julius Randle. I'm still hyped about them. I'm very, very pleased with what they've done this year. I'll be there rooting for them. I'm going to be covering that first-round series every game. But I just need to see them get ambidextrous. I think that you should handcuff them or tie their left hands behind their back. And once this season is over, spend the entire offseason. Do not allow them to do anything with their left hand. They got to get their right hands together.
Stephen A., now that we're in the play-in tournament out west, the Lakers, that is, and LeBron James and AD's back in the fold, what do you make of what's going to happen to us?
I'm still very, very nervous. And here's why. I watched the Lakers last night, man. And in the span of minutes, Anthony Davis comes out of the game.